suppose I'll begin then. I'm looking at my light. I don't know why. I now can't see the camera that I'm now looking into. Welcome, friends. Tanked Up. It's episode 412. I'm a slightly blinded Ben here with Lucy.
Hello.
No, Discord did the thing.
No.
Killed your audio.
I think she
Hi.
said
I just have to say, quick hi. I did a melodic hello.
Oh.
It's going to be hi. It's going to be a curt, succinct.
I prefer the melodic hello, though.
Hello.
That's a hi.
Good evening.
It's only meant for listeners
good
with the name
evening.
Kurt.
Good
Hi.
Yes, Kurt, hi. And Aadil.
Hi to all non-Kurts. Kurts can fuck themselves.
We're a beer and video game podcast. You probably know that already. So we're going to drink some beers and talk about some video games. Probably we'll roll through some news, maybe some games that we've played. There's been a few big things happening recently, which we haven't had a chance to talk about yet, but we'll see how we do. Let's open some beers. Lucy, let's start with you this week.
Yeah, I said that I was going to go for a big boy, but I've chickened out and doing the complete opposite.
Oh.
I'm having an alcohol-free beer.
That's okay.
0.5% from White Print True. It's the ones that we got from the beer festival 2 weeks ago now.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the Kaleidoscope, the pale ale. Me and Aadil had this and their lager. Their
Tomorrow?
I think we both agreed.
Tomorrowland? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, maybe.
I think we both agreed that the
My camera's
tomorrow
gotten
was...
drunk.
It has gone drunk, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the
Lucy, go on.
alcohol-free beer. Yeah, we both agreed that I think the lager suits the alcohol-free style a bit more because of that kind of like sweet taste some of them have, and yeah.
You're also
Christmas.
not expecting like the IPA pale ale stuff.
Yeah, the body
like,
or the
just you expect a bit
fruits.
more body, and so when you get the thinner beer, it just doesn't quite click. While the
But even
lager
so-
you want crisp and kind of thin, so the fact that there's no alcohol doesn't change.
Even so, these were the ones they were giving out for free.
Yes.
So this is what I'm having. I'll just quickly read what it says. An uncompromising low-alcohol take on our flagship pale ale, combining a trio of Citra, Simcoe and Mosaic hops to beautiful effect. This carefully selected blend creates a refreshing kaleidoscope of bright citrus and vibrant fruit flavours, balanced with gentle, clean bitterness. Low-alcohol beer done properly. That's it. Yeah, looking at the calories here, and it's just lovely. 21 calories.
Is it 0.5%?
Yeah.
4.3 grams of carbs, of which sugar is less than 0.5.
Nice.
So yeah, this is what I like,
Good.
because the calorific content of beer is no bueno,
I don't even know
or
if
any
it's
alcohol really.
calories.
So.
Yeah.
Tell me what those are. I don't know. I've just smashed 4 of these little California IPAs from Sierra Nevada.
It's probably a good 400 calories.
Yeah, I mean, it's only
At least.
4.2%, little 355ml cans. I've had it before, it's a supermarket beer.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd have a couple of beers whilst watching the football. And I quite like this one for a little fridge filler.
Yeah.
Yeah, very citrusy, as it says on the tin. It's got a nice bit of a bitter finish to it as well. But that's finished now. What I'm going to drink this evening is a beer I saw in the supermarket, but from a brewery I haven't had for a very long time. Beavertown. Fancy from my life. This is called Sun God. The can it's a little paler than it comes across on the camera actually in the blue, but it's blues and yellows and a little bit of gold on it. A little bit subdued in the can, but it is a tropical IPA, 6.3%. It gives me no flavour text. It doesn't tell me much about it. Interestingly, it says on there, do not age. I suppose it's the same as drink fresh, I guess, isn't it? Oh, it does say drink fresh there as well, to be fair. So, yeah, the allergens of barley and wheat doesn't give me any more information than that. So, yeah, I'll drink it and see what's up. Aadil, what are you going for tonight?
I'm having another from our friends at Baron.
Ooh.
It's so last night was the department Christmas party,
Right.
Gosh damn it. Summer party.
Christmas?
I've done this
Christmas.
3 times today. I've
Yeah.
said Christmas. For
Good
some
6
reason,
months
my
on.
brain is just end of the year. End of the year is Christmas party.
Yeah.
It's the end of the academic year summer party thing, which meant that I got home at like 1 and had a lot of Stella Artois.
Oh, nice.
That was the tins that were available.
It wasn't at the Hop Knocker or anywhere reasonable.
No, it was in the department.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
We had our department board of studies 2-hour meeting, a brief 40-minute break, and then went to the same room.
yeah, I mean, it's universities and
But
they're going bankrupt and budgets and Stella Artois is all they can afford. These prestigious institutions drinking Stella.
4 pint cans for 4 quid.
Yeah, that's state
But-
of the country. So, yeah.
I
Nice.
fittingly am
Ooh.
drinking the brain fog. Because that is what my day has been all day. Between lack of sleep and my newfound lack of superpower with respect to how I feel after drinking
Yes.
heavily.
Yes.
It's a 3.8% pale ale, 500ml can, and 3.8% hazy pale brewed with some controversial hop choices, Sabro and Talus, and some safer names, Azaka and Citra, tangerine, mango, mint, and pineapple aromas.
Ooh.
The hops again are Citra, Azaka, Sabro, and Talus. The grains are extra pale, wheat, oats, oat flakes, chit malt, Cara Gold. Yeast is WHC saturated, and the nutty bits are mashed really loose and hot with a small addition of hops in the mash, Cara Gold for sweetness, Citra Cryo, Talus, and Sabro in the chilled whirlpool, 2 grams per liter Talus and 2 grams per liter Sabro added with the yeast for maximum biotransformation during fermentation, 5 grams per liter Azaka and 4 grams per liter Citra added later in the fermentation. And yeah, it's got a lovely cat standing on a foggy-brained man head art. I do miss the very in-depth flavor text. I'm glad that Baron's still doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's nice to know kind of everything that's in the beer. And again, they do give like some water.
Yeah, I skipped the
stats and
water
things,
because
which we don't know anything about, but nice to have it. I think. You would think I know places like Atom, which are kind of heavily into their kind of like brewing science and things like that. I'll, probably look at those cans and go, yes, this is all of the information I want, and they get incredibly excited about those. But can space is at a premium. Like Beavertown, 80% kind of burning skeleton man, and then just a little band of all of the bits that they have to kind of put on. So yeah, good. I like the Baron's kind of slightly more low key. Kind of can art, still striking in some senses, but low key. White cans, loads of information. Same as White Print True, Lucy. White cans usually, striking can art. Very similar across their different brands, different beers and things. But not as much information. They do a good chunk of flavour text at the top. Don't give a huge amount of actual information about the beer usually. In terms of those more sciencey bits. But how is it? How is the 0.5%? I don't know whether... Do they call it alcohol-free? I can't remember whether they actually... Low alcohol.
Low alcohol on the front of the can, yeah. It's... I wouldn't say it's much different from, like... is it Brulo, whose beers I think are probably the best I get along with. In terms of alcohol-free. I haven't had anything from what are the other Skelly boys called? Who make Chug.
Shit. Yeah, I know.
Chug
I know who you mean.
beer. Not a mug.
That's gonna...
Chug a mug.
Yeah, it says Chug beer mug. Chug beer... alcohol-free.
Chug Gold. Was that Chug Gold that was called the other one?
Mash Gang.
Mash, yes.
Mash Gang.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe some of those. I haven't had any of the output in probably a year. But yeah, it's... As I say, it's refreshing. It's always lacking that body.
Mm.
So yeah, the lager, which bit thinner, expectedly. It's not as noticeable, but here it's like, yeah, this tastes a bit thin and watery. It doesn't have like that kind of like metallic or sweet finish to it, so that's good. But yeah, not really getting any of the fruit, because you know you've got like that trifecta of hops, Mosaic, Citra, and is it Simcoe? Yeah, so you're not really experiencing the most of what those hops have to offer, but it's alcohol free. It's not gonna move the needle in the whole alcohol free space, unfortunately. But it's fine. It's fine. I think it's just a case, it's something nice to sup on if you really don't want to have a beer or anything alcoholic. It's pleasant enough, but it's just when you're expecting something else, it's always going to be lacking.
I think it's
that
definitely
body cannot be recreated unless maybe some of the beers have like they put like oats or like flaked oats or something in it just to try and bulk up the body, but I don't see any mention of this here because they probably want to make it quite accessible, have it like gluten free and everything. So. Yeah.
It is good to have that option. I mean, after the beer festival, the next day we went to the pub. I had family up. We went to the pub. I really didn't want a beer, but I ordered a Clearhead, the Bristol Beer Factory alcohol-free beer, and it was incredibly carbonated. And just so fizzy that I'm like, it's so fizzy and very thin, crisp, refreshing if it was a hot day, but it just didn't feel it. I think something like the Kaleidoscope alcohol-free, with it being, it's not a lager, it has just a little bit of a subdued kind of body to it. So it's not trying to be too carbonated or crisp. And I think that would have sat very nicely at that point for me. And I think I prefer the Kaleidoscope actually over the Wiper and True Lager, the alcohol-free lager tomorrow. Just because it gives a little bit more. It is kind of close to Kaleidoscope. But it's interesting that I don't know whether Kaleidoscope is Wiper and True's preferred brew, but I guess it's a very familiar brew with that combination of hops that they've done an alcohol-free version of it, but then that was what the double IPA was as well, wasn't it? It was the Kaleid Dipper, so it was that recipe, but a double IPA version of. So interesting that is their kind of maybe flagship beer. I don't know really, but it is on. It's on the pub around the corner. It's on pretty much probably 80% of pubs in and around Bristol have got Kaleidoscope on. But yeah, good.
I wonder how it differs to like hop water. Just getting hop water. That seems to be a bit of a trend. I don't think
I really like hot water.
I think I'd have to try that and contrast and compare and just think which one would I prefer.
You'd sit and do like a little hot water versus alcohol-free beer kind of tasting, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Just to see what those differences were between them.
Yeah. For me, the hop water, because it's not trying to be a beer, but has some beer notes, I'm none of the like, it's too thin, it's feeling like a fake thing happens. And so if it's I also love sparkling water, right? So like I have a soda stream. Often I'm having a soda stream with a splash of like lemon or lime juice in it. Like a sort of sparkling water with a splash of lemon or lime juice in it, or Rochester ginger, which Keith introduced me to, which is like a really high concentrated ginger.
Right.
So you could sip it and it would burn you, but that means you can like mix it in with sparkling water and make your own sort of strength of ginger beer.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's really nice. Refreshing.
Like
but hot water feels like one of those things where it's like, it's flavored water, but I like these flavors.
Yeah. Nice, that'd be interesting. I thought you almost found like a ginger cordial to mix with various things to give you various strengths. If you have just a hop cordial that you can mix with various waters or sparkling waters to give you a strength of beer that you would like. The Beavertown, talking of strengths of beers, the Beavertown is a little bit lackluster, I'll say, off the initial kind of sip. The nose is nice, a little bit of orange, maybe a bit heavy on the mango, but it's got a nice sweetness kind of running through it. And the flavour is very similar to the nose, but doesn't give me much more than that. The orange is a little bit more subdued. It's maybe slightly more stone fruity, so a bit of mango in there, giving a little bit of body, a little bit of kind of depth, a tiny bit of bitterness to it. But then there's this slightly more maybe apricot kind of flavour that comes in, where you would expect that sweetness and that orange that you're getting on the nose to kind of come into the flavour as well. It's maybe more subdued apricot, something like that, a little bit creamy perhaps, but definitely a slightly sweet, but kind of lesser sort of stone fruit. I think, not as sweet or zingy or anything as citrus that you would get. It's incredibly clear and very, very carbonated when I poured it. But as I say, doesn't give me a huge amount more than that. Says tropical, yes, sure. Mango, maybe you could reach and say there's a little bit of pineapple, something like that in there as well. But it's coalescing to make this slightly more apricot kind of flavour towards the back end, which doesn't do very much. Get a bit of bitterness from a bit of a ripe mango, but that's kind of it. It doesn't go anywhere in this beer, which is a bit of a shame, because if it just had a bit of a piney depth to that finish, great, nice, refreshing, tropical flavours to start with, and then it kicks into that kind of piney finish, that would be brilliant, but unfortunately doesn't quite do it. We'll see. I can't imagine the California IPA is doing very much to change the flavour profile of it, but we'll see as I drink whether my thoughts change. It will come to you, Aadil, for Brain Fog.
Brain fog. So on the nose, it's actually
very clear as well, actually.
Yeah. So it's been sitting for a bit. It's a bit hazy, like it's not quite crystal clear, but you can clearly make out the forms of my fingers.
Yeah.
It's got a lovely, slightly resiny, piney nose with some tropical and slightly citrusy sweet notes as well. It's quite a complex nose, which I guess, given that they loaded hops at the various points, that's probably why. Ooh. I didn't get the mint, I think they mentioned in the flavor text, but that's really, really refreshing. Yeah, so I'm getting the tropical, I'm getting a bit of that pininess. It's a bit drying, and there's a slight aspartame note. It's not quite aspartame, but it's just that sort of dried out sweetness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I can't tell it's 3.8%. It's not too thin. It feels full enough as a pale ale. It's quite refreshing. It's super interesting. I think this is going to be one which will change over the period. Keith and I had pint and 2/3 of various Deas that were on cask and keg at the Hop Knocker before I started. And between, it's been half an hour since I had another beer, but I think just the nuance, the layers of this, it might take me a bit to. So I'm laughing at Lucy.
Yeah, she's on the move.
Yeah. I think I might change over time, but it's really refreshing. It's definitely a pale ale that you would want in seasonal change. It's not it's not crisp and fresh for a hot summer day, but it's really great for a slightly overcast patio. It's 3.8%. You could session it, and there's a bunch going on, and I'm fading in and out of the different hop profiles, and they're layered. They're not blended, but not in a bad way. It's not like a tiered thing where I'm in this taste, now I'm shifting over here. You just can easily sort of pick the bits and beat bobs out. Yeah, I'm going to stop there, and then perhaps later on talk more, just because I have a feeling I'm going to need a little more time to
Yeah.
Disentangle, which not like a tangle. That makes sense. Like it's tasty. It's tasty. It's nice. It has a bit of that aspartaminess, but not too much. It doesn't force me to have another sip. But I do like how it starts a bit sweet and tropically, and that's mostly front loaded. So in that sense, I'm reaching for it quite often. But also, it's mostly because like, oh, there's so much going on. Let me continue to figure this out.
Yeah, nice. So we need to return to our beers momentarily. So we shall jump into not necessarily games, but maybe we all went to Bristol Craft Beer Festival a couple of weeks ago. We haven't had a chance to talk about that. not-e3 happened as well. We haven't had a chance to talk about that on the same weekend, no less. So maybe I thought, just as a really quick kind of roundup of what we've been doing recently, and it's a couple of weeks. We might not have any, but do we have a favourite beer from the Craft Beer Festival? Ooh. And do we have maybe a pick from not-e3, something that's excited us from all of the different reveals?
I'll say mostly what I liked about the Craft Beer Festival is it shied away from the like, here's a special thing that's releasing at 2 on Saturday. Queue up there. It felt more like most people had similar or the same beers for all of the sessions, which meant you didn't have big long queues or whatever, and like that just made it kind of chiller. Also because we knew we were going to be at both the evening and the afternoon session, I think that meant that we were less rushed.
Sure.
My favorite beer was the ones I had before I rolled my ankle dancing like a stupid lunatic.
I was thinking about that the other day.
My ankle still hurts.
Just in the pantry, like grabbing spices or something. I was like, I can't believe it like dropped twice and I didn't see it.
Yeah, can't believe you both missed both. Yeah. The first one was great because I somersaulted out of the fall like a pro, and the second one was just like not even dancing nearly as foolishly and just hit a bit of cobblestone, and I'm 40 and my ankle gave out. Real badly.
You should know that.
Should I?
Well...
Yes. Know your limitations.
One should know better, but we know I can't not.
True.
Should implies can, right? And I don't think I'm smart enough to...
It's beyond you.
Yeah.
Lucy, did you have a favourite beer at all from the festival?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but just the beak one.
That's my pick too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. That was a standout, and that was just like a normal average beer that they put out because they're very good at what they do.
Absolutely. It wasn't Parade. I think they had Parade on and the other one we don't remember the name of. Yeah. But yes, it was the other one was very, very good. There was a bunch of sort of bigger beers as well. A few Imperial Stouts. I seem to remember one festival we went to where there was just a ton of Imperial Stouts. And this year there was maybe this year's a handful of them. A couple which I don't know why people keep putting coconut into their Imperial Stouts. It just ruins my face completely. But there was, I think that the takeaway from me was there was a really nice range of beers this year. And as we were saying, sometimes it's nice when they have the special releases. You get in your queue for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you wait for for a brewery to crack open the 10 bottles they've brought of their aged barley wine or something like that. Brilliant. Yeah, at 2 o'clock we're going to do this. Cool, amazing. But it was kind of lots of sort of standard staples from breweries, and it's just nice to try a bunch of different breweries that we just don't get much of down here, I think.
I'd agree with the range of types of beer, but I felt there was a distinct lack of double IPA.
Yes, definitely.
And that's just like how that's just because of the alcohol tax and everything. Like a lot of breweries have, those are just special releases now almost. So I get it, but I just wanted some like 8, 9, even 10% big boys. It seemed like it was either have 5%, 4% pale ale, or look for the 1 or 2 imperial stouts that were there. And I love an imperial stout, but it wasn't quite the weather for it because it was quite warm.
Yes.
That day. So yeah, a bit sad that that's how the industry's going. Sadly, through extenuating circumstances. That's beyond the brewers' control, really. So yeah, but yeah. It was a good range. It was good, more so than there has been some years. I remember the one year where it was literally just imperial stouts and nothing else, which I enjoyed. Bring that back.
We just, at the end of the day, feel so heavy you just can't move because you're full of just viscous liquid.
Yeah.
So then, it happened on the same weekend, E3. Was there anything? Because I didn't tune in to a huge amount of stuff. I caught up kind of it during the week afterwards, looking at kind of trailers. Didn't really watch any of the shows that kind of came out.
No.
Just sort of looked at aggregate, Eurogamer and places like that, which were like, here are a bunch of things that were released. And the kind of the sort of, I enjoyed the Doom trailer. For whatever that one's called, the Old Age or something like that.
Yeah, the Dark Ages.
Yeah, nice to get a new Doom
considering
game.
how I didn't get on with Eternal, I have no hype for it or expectation. I think the greatest thing is that it'll be on Game Pass, so I don't have to pay the 60 quid or whatever it was for Doom Eternal and have it be a massive letdown.
Sure.
Did you ever go back to Doom Eternal then?
No. I played like a couple of hours of it.
Yeah.
And then
Just like, why are you adding all these systems to Doom?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want an RPG.
Absolutely. Doom 2016 is like
pick up the gun
a
and shoot
fucking
things.
perfect game.
It is.
reimagined Doom so well and was just flowed brilliantly. So yeah, Eternal tried to add these extra, which had the flamethrower, you had the kind of when the flashy kills and all of the extra kinds of bits that you're like, sure, I can try and do this and I can chain attacks and I can do that and I can do this.
Like go back to the ship and there's missions or something.
Yeah, and
like,
I just want to shoot shit.
Yes. So that, I don't know, because a lot of people like Doom Eternal because it's probably a decent game, but the control still felt pretty good, but just couldn't get along with that kind of gameplay. And I think it was very much more geared around mouse and keyboard, whereas Doom Eternal was fine on playing on Xbox. But yeah, there's part of me that just thinks just give it up, Lucy. Don't just go back and play the original Doom if you want that experience again. Because they'll probably think, oh, people like Doom Eternal, let's continue along that avenue, rather than there are subsets of this community who can't stand Doom Eternal because it just wrecked everything. So
Well, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because Doom Eternal, at least to us, is kind of like Wolfenstein Youngblood, where they changed the systems and changed how that kind of game feels. That not in a good way, at least for us. Doom Eternal took that same sort of shift.
It. I know you tried it.
Yeah, I think I finished it actually.
Okay.
Played through Game Pass when I had access to that on the PC, and didn't I enjoyed it because it's because it's Wolfenstein, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean they're making Indiana Jones now anyway, aren't they? Machine Games.
Yeah,
so who knows?
it looks like it's got that. Yeah, it looks like it's got that their level of humour. It's like just making fun of Nazis. So I hope. I know it has to be like kind of PG because it's Indiana Jones, but if they can at least bring that humour to it, it'll be good.
Yeah, is that like who should we give the Nazi game to? Machine Games.
The people who take the Nazis are nice. Yeah, but the Xbox show was pretty good. I watched the Nintendo Direct, which was this week.
Oh yes, a couple of days ago, yeah.
It seems like it's having a good swan song with the Switch, but yeah, I think Xbox is output over probably 2025, and Gears is coming back, which I'm happy about. I don't care
A
what
prequel.
kind of Gears.
Right.
Yeah, I don't story like whatever. Set it whenever. Just give me that gameplay because it's so good. But yeah, Fable looks like it will be. It looks promising. It's made by the people who did the Forza Horizon games, so hopefully that should be good. And that game, that like kind of stop motion game set in like the deep south, that looks.
Oh,
wicked.
that does look cool. Yes,
Mhm.
That's from the We Happy Few developer, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Compulsion
yeah.
Games. Yeah. So yeah, like it all looks quite promising, but Xbox, dropped the ball plenty of times in the past. So I'm happy because I've got a Game Pass and like no cost to entry for me. So yeah, so low stakes for that, but yeah. PlayStation did something. I think we spoke about that last week,
Yes.
or something, or 2 weeks ago. And I didn't watch like Ubisoft, or fortunately I missed a lot of the indie ones. Yeah, I think it's like there's no way you can keep track of everything.
No.
So when something comes out and people are like, "Oh, this is great," I'll turn my head and go play it. But otherwise, I'll just Yeah, the E3's in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can't go back. We can't go back.
Completely. Aadil, did you see anything over the last sort of couple of weeks that's grabbed you at all?
Mild curiosity about the Zelda game.
Yeah, that looks
Zelda
cool.
game.
You play as Zelda.
Play as Zelda.
Is that out this year?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh yeah, it was Metroid Prime that's out like next year or whatever.
What's it called?
Is that Metroid 4?
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
Prime 4. Yeah.
Yeah, so I probably won't get to play these games until the next Switch comes out because I don't have access to the Switch.
But it's interesting, isn't it, that again, Switch is sort of towards the end of its life. Switch 2 has been touted, at least in certain circles and rumours and things like that, for probably a year or more now.
Yeah.
And yet, Nintendo are giving us, because they've already talked about Metroid Prime 4, so they're coming back to the public with updates on games, which again might still be 6 months, a year, if not more away. Are they going to be Switch games, or are they going to be Switch 2 games?
I think Metroid Prime 4 will be a Switch.
I think they announced them as Switch games, but they might be a dual. The later ones might be dual release, like they did with
like Twilight Princess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Twilight Princess. So September. I lost it again. September 12th or 18th. One of those two is when Legend of Zelda: Echoes of the Future Past. Future.
Yeah.
Echoes of Wisdom.
Okay. Yeah, I'll play that one next year when the Switch 2 comes out, because hopefully I can still just pick it up on there. If they don't make it cross-platform, I'm leading the protest to Nintendo HQ.
The thing that grabbed me was it's a top-down Zelda game, which is I liked Breath of the Wild as like a game, but it wasn't like, oh my god, the Zelda game that I like. It was like, this is a great game. Yeah.
2D.
And it's that sort of roundy, cartoony style of the remake of Link's Awakening, which I like the style. Yeah, so it seemed neat. There's also Mario and Luigi Bro Code RPG, or whatever that's called.
I didn't see that. I missed the start of the direct, so I imagine it's just one of those.
It's called Brothers.
Mario and Luigi games, yeah. I can picture what it looks like.
Mostly because I've played 0 Mario and Luigi games. I didn't really clock that was a series, but it's the 6th Mario and Luigi game.
Yeah, I think they closed down that developer who made some of those, like, probably
2019,
4 years ago now, yeah, so...
But yeah, so I just mostly I didn't realize that there was an offshoot to Super Mario RPG that was called Mario and Luigi Blah.
There's
Yeah.
so
I thought he
many
was too busy
fucking-
traipsing around at the Olympics with Sonic to hang out with his brother anymore.
it's nuts. The various like paths of Mario games to kind of follow. There must be so many like series within the Mario franchise now that it is ridiculous to try and keep up with. There's no point.
missing.
There's a new game. Cool. Fine. People will play it. Amazing. Good.
Yeah.
Might be great. Fine.
But I have to admit that like nothing super jumped out. And maybe it's just because I wasn't like watching the shows, and so I was just seeing on various social media the stream of games. It's the standard E3-ish problem of unless you sort of hunker down and watch the things, and it's like, yeah, that seems neat, and that seems neat. But if you asked me what are the things you said that sounds neat, a bunch still. Name one thing that sounded neat. I'd be like, game. I think it was a game. So nothing super jumped out, but I'm sure, in the coming year I'll be like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah. I think as Lucy sort of said, it was, I think, good for indies with the various different kind of directs that they had and showcases that they had that were more indie focused, and then even the bigger ones having a bunch of indie games sort of being shown as well. It doesn't seem again like a huge amount of the bigger tentpole sort of franchises from big companies are right with us. It's not like Xbox went cool and all of these games are out tomorrow. A bunch of the stuff that they showed is still a reasonable kind of way off. Fable, things like that, which are still very much in development and kind of in the future.
Did that not have a 2025?
I think 2025. Yeah. Perfect Dark, did that have a date as well? Because that looked really good. That game, like, actually, Perfect Dark was the one from the showcase, which I picked up on, which kind of gave me that like amazing mix of like sim gameplay. It looks like fucking Deus Ex.
Just was it Arcane? Austin who made Prey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give them a job helping with Perfect Dark, and then that might be a good
Wait,
game.
is Austin the one that was closed or not? Or was it Leon? It must have been Austin.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, it sucks. But make Prey with a girl. I guess Prey you could play as a girl. Just make Prey.
Nice. Yeah.
With Joanna
Just, again,
Dark.
just keep doing it with Joanna Dark, absolutely. But it did look good. I liked that mix, and to see it's actually being kind of developed with Crystal Dynamics as well makes sense. Especially with Square Enix shifting a bunch of their IPs and studios and things like that last year. They probably don't own the Deus Ex IP anymore, but I don't know, maybe they do. I've got no idea. Can they make another Deus Ex game? Who knows? But at least Perfect Dark looks to be a really good, similar kind of game.
Yeah. I hope it comes out alright, because I had that thing come out about the studio's a mess, but it just sounds like any game development studio early in like production, like everything's a mess, everything's on fire, then eventually something comes out and is good. So let's hope so.
Yeah. Good. And following our lovely weekend at the beer festival and not-e3 happening, Steam.
I have to just pause. Every time you say it, just your intonation makes me think you're saying not-e3.
That's what I said.
Naughty
That's what I
3.
thought.
I was like, are we the not-e3?
We are the naughty 3, absolutely, at the Craft Beer Festival.
When you first said that, I was like, what? What was that? And then I thought it was like, oh,
E3.
not-e3.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Not E3.
Not-e3.
What do they call it
Which
now?
might have to be the title of the episode now, not-e3.
What is it? Summer Game
Craft Beer and the
Fest?
not-e3.
Nice. I think it comes under the banner of Summer Games Fest these days. Doesn't it?
Yes.
Jeff Keighley's kind of
The
baby.
Keys,
Which I don't know if you heard how much it costs to get. You have to
what
I
was
did
the
see.
number?
Yeah.
$250,000 to get your
Sorry? How
short
much?
trailer.
250,000.
$250,000.
Uh-huh.
It's like, this is a very different side
That's
of Mr.
nuts.
Keith.
Yeah, like adds, come on, Keely, where are you hiding all this?
It's interesting. I can't remember. Is it like Pirate PR or one of those smaller kind of PR companies who represent a lot of sort of independent developers? Did a good Twitter thread recently. I can't put it down to them. I don't know if it is exactly them. But there was a good Twitter thread going around basically sort of saying that they'd been approached by some of the kind of top tier or the higher level kind of streamers and content creators. And essentially they were being kind of asked up front for X amount of money for a streamer to feature, a game or two or whatever. And the PR company basically saying this is the entire marketing budget for some of these games. It's the numbers that you're trying to kind of ask us
Squeeze
for
out of them
are just so high that we'd only be able to pay you to play a game for an hour and not do anything else with it. And it is it's insane money, absolutely insane marketing budgets. I know years and years ago there was the whole thing around like Call of Duty, which had a similar marketing budget to the development budget of one of the games to push. And Call of Duty is an outlier, I would say. But it just
to be honest, it seems like a worthwhile gamble sometimes because I'd rather give that 250 grand to, say, a streamer than have it in like E3 amongst everything. Because with the streamer, it's like I'm playing this game, and say if
I
I
have a
gave that to
dedicated
like
audience.
if I gave that to a Markiplier or something like that, then potentially you're seeing that money back.
So you'd have to be incredibly selective about that, right?
They'd have to be really big streamers that have some notion of conversion.
Well, notion of conversion, but also really big streamer who plays that kind of game. It's not just cool, I'm just going to play this random game for an hour. My audience don't really watch any other games I play other than Call of Duty or Fortnite or this other kind of game. But I'm just going to play another game for an hour. Sure, you might get some conversion, but that rate's going to be much lower than if it's a game kind of pushed towards an audience. Who have a similar.
I'd think it's like someone like Donkey or something. Can you imagine? Your game would probably do very well.
Doesn't he make his own games now? Isn't he his own PR company these days?
He is, but he doesn't make his own games.
Right. Okay.
He published Animal Well, but he didn't make it.
Right.
Yeah. Because they're very. Say what you want about streamers, they are very adept in their own marketing themselves, marketing games and everything. They have a knack for it and a talent for it. So yeah, I'd just be like, here, Donkey.
Yeah.
Put out an 8-minute video of, this game. And that's our marketing budget, and that will probably do us fine. We don't need to market anywhere else, because this is getting like 5 million views by tomorrow, probably. And the conversion rate on that, even if it's like less than a fifth, a tenth of that, then...
Yeah, make sure you do it in the lull as well, like a month after E3 or something like that. And things quieted down for a lot of other kind of games and announcements and stuff like that.
So I just wanted to follow up. Yeah, so a minute trailer in the Summer Game Fest showcase was $250,000 US. If you wanted 200, if you scale up to 2 minutes, it's 450, and 2.5 minutes is 550. And Esquire, this is all from a Eurogamer article, but Esquire estimates that Keeley made 9.65 million this year on or more.
It's got to be.
But also, he's the only person listed on the Summer Games Fest LLC. So we don't actually know how many people he's paying and what the costs are. So this could just be like, pour money into my bucket, please.
Yes, yeah. An event of that kind of scale is going to be within the millions of cost. But again, if it's
not
like
10,
no. But if it's 3, he just takes a cool 6 million and fucking thanks. Or it's 8 and he takes 1. He's still taking $1 million fucking quid. Anyway. Yes. rolling through the timeline of things, Steam Next Fest, another thing which you probably have to pay to be kind of, at least advertised on the banners and things like that with Steam. But Steam Next Fest has been going on, and that leads us kind of into what we've been playing, because most of my time has been spent playing a few demos over the last kind of week or two.
I played one or two. I forgot about that. But you've probably got a whole suite. So.
Well, I've got a few which are sort of standouts, I think, from what I have played. I think the biggest standout is the demo for a game called Caravan Sandwich. Which
I just love the name.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. Yeah.
I think as well. It's Caravan Sandwich, but they capitalize the W. So I don't know whether it's called. It's Caravan Sandwich.
And which as in Wittich.
As in yes, yeah. It's a big open world game. You drive around in a truck, picking up resources, doing various things. It's got a very relaxed kind of vibe to it. It's a little bit cel shaded, a little bit painterly in its kind of aesthetic. Not kind of Ghibli-esque, but it's on that sort of path. Loads of frog people hanging out as well as normal humans and stuff. It's just very cool. It's got a very cool aesthetic to it.
When I'm picturing, because I know exactly what the aesthetic of Sandwich is, but I'm just picturing the frog people from Elden Ring. Them in that art style, just hanging around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone else.
But it's just, I think you only get to play. I mean, you could probably play an hour or more if you just run around the world and go to the different areas and things like that. But the demo puts you in and you have a mission to collect a bunch of resources to upgrade the van, basically. And you do that, and then the game says, cool, now you get to go to the next area, and that's where the demo sort of stops. But unfortunately for me, I'd done a bit of exploration kind of first. Gathered a load of resources. So when the game said, go over here to find some resources, oh, you have all of the resources already? I'm like, cool, I don't have to go over there and explore that area. I'll do this. And then obviously the demo ended. I'm like, missed the opportunity to explore more of this area kind of within the demo. And it's kind of the one that I'm like, I'd like to go back to that, please. I want to go back into that world. It seems very cool. I don't like that it's mouse and keyboard and that the camera has to be panned with you. It doesn't shift, isn't fixed behind the characters. It makes movement a little bit finicky, a little bit awkward when you're trying to kind of platform up around the environment and things like that. But that aside, very, very good. Really enjoyed that. And then the other, I suppose, two, which I'll highlight, is a game called Self-Loss, which is again another kind of exploration game. It's a little bit sort of isometric, so it kind of gave me a little bit of a feel of something like Death's Door, in sort of the way that you move around the environment, but it's doing a cool kind of set of mechanics with light. You have a staff. You can kind of put it in one place and cast light around, either to open more paths or to heal the character. And it seems to be telling a story from Scandinavian-ish sort of area, but I'm not really sure. I don't know whether it's a very fictional kind of thing, but it feels like it's trying to delve into a depth of lore which I've got no idea about, which is very interesting. That I'm like, cool, I want to know more about this. And then the final one is The Altars, which is a game from 11-bit, which when I started playing it, I'm like, cool, this is very similar to Invincible. You know, it's a character, it's an astronaut on a planet, you're running around, third person, having to collect some resources. And then suddenly you go into this base, and it's like a base building game. I'm like, oh, that's a cool twist on this kind of 3D or third person exploration kind of game. And I haven't played a huge amount of it, but there's this constant countdown timer being like, you have 5 days until the sun comes up, and if the sun comes up, you'll basically fry. So you need to get the base to be able to move and get out of the sunlight, essentially. But it has a cool mechanic that you only have a certain amount of like work hours a day. So your character can only do so many kind of actions within the environment per day before they get too tired and have to rest. So it has a level of kind of strategy to it in terms of the tasks that you are looking to kind of do. And I think that combination of kind of third-person exploration, task management, and base building feels like a good combination of things for a full game. I don't know though, like if they turn around and they're like, this is like a 6 to 8 hour game, I'll be like, cool, perfect. I think if you're doing those combinations of things for like 20 plus hours, you'd probably get a little bit annoyed with it, at least from what I've experienced so far. But we'll see how that shakes out as well. But yeah, they're kind of my picks, I think, from what I played from the Steam Next Fest. But Lucy, you mentioned you'd played something as well. Oh, you're very quiet.
I said that I can't remember any of them. I was going through my Steam and I was like, what did I play? I can't remember. I think it was only a couple. I think it was the Case of the Golden Idol one. I know I downloaded some, but I didn't get to. A little game called Todomiro, Todomiro, which is like a little hidden object game, but instead of like static screen and just clicking on stuff, you like, you know, can zoom into things and like keep zooming, and sort of like that I Am Dead game where it's like, okay, going into the cross section of things and you know, slight puzzles and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't remember what else I played. It doesn't. It's a shame on you, Steam. It doesn't. Or maybe it does on my. No, it should just come up, populate.
Yeah, if you go to set to recent kind of games, it should just tell you what you've just played recently.
Yeah, but it doesn't in terms of like demos, so that's a bit disappointing. So, but I can't remember. But I think those are the ones that I can remember.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Nice. Aadil, have you managed to experience any demos?
I've downloaded a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was at. I downloaded quite a
I've
few.
been meaning to. Well, I almost played the new Golden Idol one, but then I did it, and I'm probably gonna buy it day one. And actually, I was like, I might uninstall this because Lucy said it was more of the same, and that's enough for me to probably want it. And I kind of would be okay with going in blind. I don't need the demo to convince me to get that particular game.
Sure.
So
I played the demo because I needed it. I need more. I need my fix. The next one comes.
Did you end up finishing the DLCs?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Like the day after they came out.
Is that?
Oh, that's right. Because I had paused on those, and then you were. And then as soon as I was like, oh, I should go back to that game, it was like, oh, the weekend is over, and I finished the game and bought the DLCs and finished the DLCs. What a fun thing!
Is that a this year game? Golden Idol 2?
Yeah.
I think like, does it have a release date? No, I think it just said like no later than.
It just says 2024.
Yeah, like later this year.
Right.
So.
Planned release date 2024. That's all they've said. Yeah.
I do imagine it'll probably come out this year.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. So I suppose that rounds us out to what anything else that we've been playing that's kind of coming. What's
Did
the
you know that the publisher of Golden Idol is the same publisher as Beavertown?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Who's the publisher?
PlayStack?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna literally now. I'm curious about what the other crap they've done because I don't.
Oh, they've done loads of stuff that you'll have heard of.
Rise of the Slime?
No, not heard of that one.
The VR Doctor Who Edge of Time game they published?
No, they are Mortal Shell, which came out a few years ago, which was like a...
What is that? I saw that, but I don't remember.
That is it's like a a Souls-like game. I cannot remember what the main change in the mechanic is to it, but there is an extension of a Souls-like game.
Right.
They also did, I think, The Last Faith, which is a game I never played, but was very interested in playing, which is again like a blasphemous style kind of
16-bit,
slightly more 16-bit brutal kind of
Game Pass,
Metroidvania sort of game.
I never got too far into that. I think I only played like the first half an hour.
Right.
Don't know why. Probably came out last year and I didn't play anything. Didn't play a thing last year.
Yes, it is a last year game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Abiotic Factor is a survival crafting experience for 1 to 6 players set in the depths of an underground research facility. That's their latest release.
Oh.
Early access.
Okay. Nice.
Neat. Which Biotic Factor? Not just a Biotic Factor.
Yeah, just one of them. There is a game, however, they are releasing a game called Unbeatable, which is a rhythm game, which had a demo called something like... Is that the one that had the demo, which was called something like White Label something from last year as well? But that looks cool. A little rhythm game.
Yeah, I do remember seeing
with a
this
really
last
cool
year.
kind of art style. Yeah, Unbeatable looks very good. So yeah, random. Place that. There we go.
I'm surprised I hadn't connected those things.
Yeah.
Well, I did play a game. If no one has anything else,
I've got a couple of games
Ben's got
just
some.
to mention. I've got some stuff to mention. Yeah.
Okay. Well, mine won't take long because it's quite a short game. It's called Duck Detective: The Secret Salami.
Oh wow!
I'm talking about scratching my case of the golden eye a little itch. This had not a full on back scratcher itch. It was just like little thing.
I'll solve them up.
Yeah, it's a little solve 'em up. It's got the similar thing, like you fill in the blanks, like with nouns and verbs and stuff like that. This person did this. This person did that, and tells you if you got, you must have like 3 things wrong, or fewer than 3 things wrong, 2 things are wrong, or something like that. So a little bit of deduction and process of elimination and stuff like that. It's about a duck detective. The art style's like really cute. It's very paper Mario.
Very papercraft. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. So it's very delightful, and it has voice acting as well, which is pretty decent, and it gives the game a bit more colour and a bit more character, which is nice. But yeah, he's basically going to a office, first solving a case of someone stealing somebody's lunch. Very disgruntled staff, all anthropomorphic creatures, like there's an alligator, there's a bear, there's a cat. It's just like going into an office and seeing that everybody's miserable. And it's got a nice bit of humour to it. The duck detective himself is like very classic, noir kind of, oh, my wife left me,
Right, yeah, I'm down and out, but I did my job, and that's okay.
Yeah, he's addicted to bread, apparently.
That's very good.
Sweet carbs, yeah. Yeah, and it's got a decent amount of humour, but the gameplay, it says I've got 3 hours on game time, so it's quite short, and that's probably me, like, being like, okay, what is this story? Where are we going? But yeah, it starts off as like, who done it? Who stole my lunch? And then it turns into a bit of, a bit more of a kind of conspiracy with, corruption and stuff like that. And it's weirdly set in like, I guess before the fall of like the Berlin Wall, like Cold War.
Like specifically?
Well, no, because everything's like modern. People have like mobile phones and stuff, but
the Berlin Wall hasn't.
But it's like that has setting. Yeah, it's basically like, oh, you cannot bring things into East I don't know the name of the town, Duckville, because the wall hasn't fallen or whatever. So there's that, and that was a bit strange. And
Wow.
yeah. I didn't expect that. I was like, that came out of nowhere. I was like, is this a German developer or something? I was meant to check that before.
Happy Broccoli Games.
Yeah, I was just gonna look them up.
Where are they from? But yeah, it's cute.
Berlin, indie studio based in Berlin.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, so it's a bit weird, but it's light-hearted, and it just works your brain enough to the point where it's like, yeah, that was a decent detective deduction game. It's it didn't have like the kind of very multi-layered story that The Case of the Golden Idol does, and it wasn't that compelling, but as I say, it's just something to... It was a nice fill-the-gap kind of game. And yeah, very cute. I think people on the reviews were like, it's too short, there's only like one location that I'm going in, because everything's centered around that office, and then you don't really move out of that. The whole game is concentrated to like a few different intertwining storylines in that office, and I get that, and that's those reviews are why I bought the game, because I was like, it's short. Cool. Ace. But perfect. Yeah, thank you for writing that review, because that made my decision. So yeah, it's a good game, good little game.
Nice. You've also been playing Banana.
I've
been playing Banana.
Not really.
And Aadil's played a bit of Banana.
I have done less than 100 clicks. No, that's not true. I've done 342 click sessions, and I was like, "Yep, this is never going to be a thing I ever do."
I don't get it. I don't get what Banana is.
It's just a clicker.
It's a boring clicker where you can't automate it unless you actually get a bot.
Yes.
And it's just the hope and the dream. It's like playing the lottery, but for free.
So basically, there are 2 windows of time, apparently, where at 3 hours and 18 hours, where you will unlock, you'll more probably get a banana drop, and then the banana could be worth 15 cents, or it's sold on the secondary market for some have sold for over $1,000, because people are crazy and they speculate free items from a clicker game, which is insane.
I've never seen like I didn't think it was a thing where you could have items drop for a free game.
Yeah, and the thing
that was
is
the rule of Steam.
Yeah, this is what I didn't look into much, but yeah, the game has drops, and they get, apparently from the article I read, they both, so Steam and the developer get a portion of the sales of the sold bananas, the drops, but mostly it goes to the seller, right? But that means that something is. I'm surprised. This has to be a new shift, because surely we would have seen, like the Steam inventory actually being predatory in all kinds of other games if this was the case.
Yeah, because I thought that was basically the rule.
Yeah, like the cards generate randomly over time, but up to a maximum of 4 or 6 or whatever. Like if you run a game for like overnight, you'll get all your cards, and then you sell those on the secondary market, and that's mostly what the Steam inventory type things were. But this is like playing the game gets you a banana, and it might get you a random banana, and that banana might be worth more. And people are speculating on these bananas, mostly probably for memes. But the thing is, dumb people have money, so someone spent $1,300 on the magic gold banana that there's only 25 in existence. I guess, question mark. These are digital goods. They can do whatever the fuck they want and say whatever the fuck they want.
So is
this is how Nintendo are actually announcing that Donkey Kong is coming to Steam.
Oh, that would be kind of amazing.
Yeah.
But is this like, are we getting into the thing where actually like Steam drops, cards and that sort of stuff are becoming NFTs in and of themselves as well?
Oh, so this is the best part.
Limited
They're not
amount
NFTs,
of
because you don't need the blockchain. They're exactly why NFTs were never a thing. They're just digital goods. You never needed a fucking blockchain for digital goods to extort money from people. Sorry, I mean...
Yeah,
so I've got like...
It's a weird one.
Yeah, all of mine say that the starting value of all of the ones that I've got so far is 3 pence.
Cents.
3 pence.
Wait, you have
got
unlocked
banana.
a banana?
So I've got.
I didn't.
I've got.
Lucy's played for 10 hours and she's got 0
I
bananas.
haven't played for 10 hours.
I've
For
got.
clarification, I forgot it was
I've got
running.
6. I've got 6.
Oh.
What?
I've
I
got.
don't have
played
any.
this game?
Yeah.
Oh, not much. So I'll come on to why I played this game and where I played this game very shortly. But I have Musicana. I have Space Nana, 2 of those. I have Banana, 2 of those. And I have Sticker Bomb Banana.
Oh, hold on.
And I've got no idea what to do with any of these things.
Are these in my...
Yeah, they
Oh,
go
you
with your...
have
Look in your
bananas.
inventory. Look in your
Yeah,
inventory.
they
Yeah,
go
but
with
usually it pops up and nothing popped up.
No, it
So I
doesn't
do
pop
have
up. That's the
bananas.
thing. You have
Oh,
to
Oh,
have
I
a
have
look.
one
Lucy.
with a panda. That's
Oh, I have
cute.
3 bananas.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I have 2
10 bananas.
Yeah.
I have 2 regular bananas and a sticker boo banana.
Yeah.
I've got 6 normal ones.
I also
Oh,
have a
here we
5-year
go,
veteran
here we
coin for
go.
Counter-Strike
I've got
2.
3
Game I've
pence
never played.
banana.
They're all 3 pence. They're all 3
One's
pence.
5 pence. Oh, this is fun. I like some of this art. It's because it's so low grade.
Yeah, so apparently they have, because it's so successful, they've now been commissioning. So some of the art was like crap and rushed because they were a free game doing idiot things, and now that they're making money, they have actually commissioned artists to. So some of the original bananas have been reskinned, pun intended, and they've gotten better art for those bananas.
I'm selling my banana.
Well, mate. So I've got one called Music Nana, which has a. All of them have a slight description. This one says does not drop anymore.
Oh, hold on to that.
So I have
Speculate.
like a.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but what? How? Where? Where is the secondary market? How do I access?
This is the
any of
secondary
this?
market.
Yeah.
It currently says starting at 3 pence. So if I click
will
sell,
hold on to them.
I can see that this
Has
week
it
it's
sold?
been sold for 3 pence, and it hasn't moved at all
Okay.
on the
was
Steam
just saying-
market at least. Space Nana's gone up to 5 pence a couple of times.
Oh, the sticker boom banana peaked at 8 pence.
Yep.
A few days ago.
Normal banana, just standard, just 3 pence, just 3
Yeah.
pence.
Yeah,
I
I'm selling all
I
my
don't get it.
more valuable cards from other games that I've been playing.
To be fair,
recently. I'm just
I
doing that.
yeah.
Oh, I do that every once in a while. I just
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
sit there and I list them all, and then sometimes I come back to Steam. I'm like, I want to buy something. Like, oh, I've got 50 pence off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, look at this Crow Country one. That's 15 pence.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm just looking at the Outriders ones. They're all like 4p. Planet Zoo, they're all like 3p. The Invincible.
One of my Persona 3 cards is
Ooh.
11p.
The Invincible, like 12p. 13 pence for the cards on from Invincible.
Yeah,
Pax Nova,
sell that.
9 pence for a
Look
lot
at
of
this.
those.
Duck Detective.
Oh,
12.
Falconeer booster pack as a booster pack sealed of 3 cards, 24p.
Nice.
I should sell
Why
that
don't
pack.
we-
I don't
why
even
don't
know what those
we
things
work
are.
the Steam market that little bit better for us? Get rid of all of these cards and just fucking
Oh, I
have at least
literally
a pound towards a game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love how where we've ended this part.
Yeah, well, let's
Selling
move on
all
from
our wares.
banana. I just want to mention I have been playing a lot more of the Rogue Prince of Persia.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Last night I got past the first boss.
Oh, nice, you did it.
Yep, I did. Worked through the next couple of levels up to then the next boss, which kicked my fucking ass very, very quickly. But Aadil, being in Bristol for a short period of time, came round mine, and we sat and played the Rogue Prince of Persia together because he very incredibly kindly gave me his old Steam deck for me to be able to play games on. So I have been sat on the sofa playing Steam games, just hanging out and playing them.
Did that sicko right here buy an OLED?
I told you about an OLED month. It was on our solo episode, or yeah, I have the OLED. I bought it at
Sicko.
Christmas time because there was a sale and it was cheap with the Canadian dollar.
Sicko.
Are you using
Well, that's
using
good. That's
the
very nice.
exchange rates to your benefit?
Yes, and then
Yeah.
I was looking at what the secondary market for Steam Decks were, because I got the 64 gig, like the entry levels or OG Steam Deck, and I was like, oh, this isn't that much, and I was like, you know what? I know where this is going to have the most benefit. Ben's clammy hands.
That's what you call a good friend.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
It was one of my. It felt like we were couch co-oping on the kitchen table. It was great. Playing that Prince of Persia game and just passing the Steam Deck back and forth.
Yeah,
Until the battery ran down.
Yes, and it. I think the Rogue Prince of Persia is very, very good for that. It is a great kind of Steam Deck game. It allowed us to kind of be like, cool, your run is done, pass it along, and the next person will kind of play. It was really good for that kind of experience. I did also play Aperture Desk Job as well, which was kind of like the made for Steam Deck kind
the
of
Valve's
Valve
newest,
game.
latest release.
Yeah, which
The
is very
Steam
silly,
Deck.
very funny, very silly.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of doesn't, let's kind of show off the Steam Deck, but not really in much of any kind of way at all. And I did think I might play a little bit more Elden Ring, but it's too big to fit on the Steam Deck. So
Because
I'd have to stream it from the PC, so I'd have to have the PC on. And then I could buy a card. I could buy a card to go.
So-
Absolutely, yeah.
the micro SD. So Elden Ring played fine on that, on the micro SD.
Right.
Like you don't even have to worry, like upgrade the NVMe drive.
Yeah.
I think fast SSD is probably enough.
Nice.
Which is why, because I actually bought. Oh, I forgot. I actually bought a 1 terabyte replacement NVMe. And then when I got the micro SD, I was like, you know what, nothing is lagging. I'm not gonna bother opening this stupid thing up to swap the drive because the micro SD is fine. Like I'm not trying to eke out all the performance such that I need to put certain games on the direct drive instead of the slightly slower SSD or micro SD. And so I never installed it. Now I actually don't even know where that is. Oops.
What I think is nuts is you can actually get a 2 terabyte micro SD card.
It was the same. Like it just, and
that's
it's cheaper than. It's not that expensive.
That's insane. That seems ridiculous to get to be able to have that amount of memory on such a small chip, basically. But yes, I incredibly grateful. Thank you, mate, for that, because it's just changed. I can just sit next to Kim now, and she can watch shit on the telly, and I can just play Prince of Persia, basically. And again, I played the altars on it. I did stream that, I think, because I had the demo downloaded on the PC, and it was on when I picked that up. But I played that on it as well. I played a bunch of Super Hexagon on it as well, because why not?
Of course.
It plays pretty good on this Steam Deck.
It does.
Because you can do all kinds of button combinations on it.
Yeah.
I find the triggers are surprisingly good.
Yes. Yeah, they are. They are really good. The thing I've butted up against slightly is last night I spent some time trying to put the Epic Games store on there.
I meant to send you that.
Because the Marvel's Midnight Suns was free last week or last month through EGS, and I thought I want to play that. This is a good opportunity to do it, and downloaded Proton and all of those kinds of things. Got into it, downloaded the Epic Games Store. It was all running absolutely fine until it said log in. I did, and it said verify you're a human, and the capture is completely fucked. So I can't actually verify my login to go through the Epic Games Store.
Are you doing this on desktop mode or Steam mode?
No. You start on it on desktop mode, install it all, do all of that kind of stuff, and then the explanation article I had was like, now go back into normal mode, into Steam, run EGS through there, and then log in that sort of sense. So what I need to do is...
Are you using the heroic launcher, or are you using a different method to get Epic Games Store?
No, I'm using a different method. So
I will send you the link to heroic launcher because it has a program where in desktop mode you can authenticate, and it also does GOG and it also does Amazon games.
Okay.
And it's one launcher that when you go into... So you can do all your authentication there, go into game mode, and then launch the launcher, and then it shows up as a game. And then
nice.
You can install stuff.
Cool. All right. Amazing. Amazing. It's a nice little versatile machine, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how far through I get, whether I can just take it into work and put Google Sheets on it and do some spreadsheets while I'm in the office and do some emails and shit like that as well. But yes, that's where I've been spending most of my time.
Great.
I have also found some time for Alan Wake 2, but I won't talk about that right now. I'll save some Alan Wake 2 chat because it's calling me. It's kind of one of these games where I'm like, I want to play this just all of the time. So I will return to talk more about Alan Wake 2, I think, in a future episode. But we should probably finish there for this week. And return maybe to our beers, perhaps. Lucy, you started out the episode with your beer. It's probably all gone now, I imagine. But any final thoughts on it?
No, it didn't really change from my initial thoughts. So, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
I mean, similarly for the Beavertown, it was okay. It didn't change very much. My palate didn't adjust in any way or need to adjust in any way because it wasn't doing anything differently. An easy beer, if you're on if you're sat in Morrison's and you're looking at a 4 for $3 offer, sure, pick one up. It's a nice afternoon beer sat in the sun, but it doesn't give much more than that. But Aadil will come back to you for the final thoughts on the Baron.
It's very good. I think it's got the right level, the right balance between slightly resiny, piney, and tropical, and it's just really easy drinking.
Yeah.
And once my pal got used to it and we were just chatting away, I'd have a quaff and be like, oh, that's really satisfying. It's like it has this slightly bitter, like I said, slightly piney thing right at the same time, sort of mango tropical hits, sweetness. And that aspartame sweetness has faded. It just tastes a bit sweet. It's good. And again, 3.8% could be 4.9. Like it just tastes like a standard pale ale. And not because sometimes we've commented on at the 3 point something you kind of feel a thinness. That's not there at all. This is just a very excellent sessionable beer.
Okay, good. Nice. We'll finish there then for this week. If you want to talk to us about beers or games, we're at Tanked Up Cast on most of the socials. I'm at Nova_47. Lucy is
Juicy Loose 9.
And Aadil is
at the Omniarch.
And you can go to outlives.net to look at the video version of the show and see the beers that we have been drinking, or rate and review us on your podcast service of choice. Not iTunes, no longer Google Podcasts. I don't know if that has closed now, but it was going to. There's a bunch of other ones that you can use if you don't want to buy into the Spotify ecosystem. But do that because it helps to push us on those various platforms as well. I think that's everything. They're all the beers that we've drank over the last, on a big heavy weekend. Our favourite beers, the beers we drank this evening, the games that we are looking forward to, the games that we have been playing, and the demos that we have experienced from the Steam Next Fest. Thank you for joining us this week. We will catch you soon. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Bye.
That's great.
You realise you're mid-sip right at the end. You're just like, yeah.
www.outoflives.net